2024 has been an incredible year for this podcast. I'm beyond thrilled to have produced 15 episodes diving deep into the fascinating world where AI meets marketing and entrepreneurship. It's been a privilege to interview some of the brightest minds in the industry, sharing expert insights and sparkling meaningful conversations. Let's take a quick look back at the highlights. Rohan Kulkarni, founder, The Wordsmith.
You're not embarrassed with your first release, you've released too late, and I saw that firsthand. There is no going back from AI. Everybody is going to use AI, and the question becomes, how do you use it more effectively to continue creating content for your audience, at the same time being able to stand out in the sea of content that's out there. I think AI should augment creativity and productivity rather than replace the human touch.
It's not about the quantity, it's about the quality, but you also need a little bit of a footprint.
AI has raised the bar for creativity, right? You get a table stakes level of creativity ideation from most general purpose AI tools now, right? So how do you take that further, right? How do you apply your creativity to it and have that perfect combination of AI and human creativity?
John Lawson, an entrepreneur and founder of Colder Ice.
Finally feel like I'm living in the future, other than the phones. It's like, I don't have the flying car, I don't have the personal robots, all those things. But now I see it. We're here. It's coming. It's right around the corner, and I'm excited about it.
It does matter. And when you think you're talking to a person and it's not, and you can kind of tell at some point during the conversation, it's like, oh, crap.
Yep. You lose credibility. The fear of AI is based on it turning against us as humanity, because we've seen Terminator. We've seen iRobot. What's private labeling? Private label is just like, I snatched a label off of this cup and I put my own label on it. We didn't build our businesses that way. Emotional AI is really going to be able to understand consumers based on their facial expression, if it's a camera instance, or the words that they're using, the tone of their voice. AI can analyze all of that stuff and other nonverbal cues. That's going to enable us to be more empathetic and have a more personalized experience.
Federico Pascual, founder of WordCrafter AI. You just have to understand how to use it, how to wield it.
AI, at least in my opinion, is still very far away because they lack memory. They are not able to search new information and learn from new information. They don't reason. Or
copywriting is so key to the way that we communicate, especially in business, that it's any little help that we can get that takes us over like walls when we're stopped and we just don't understand how to be creative or to get over a specific impediment.
AI is just a tool that can help us do more and do it faster, and in particular going from 0 to 1 much faster. It's all about the symbiosis of humans and AI, and I want to build a product that takes that to the core. The value is not just creating content around a particular topic. Anyone can do that. It's all about having a unique voice and unique perspective on things.
Lockett, consultant and AI copywriting pro.
It's going to be weird for people coming up in their businesses and people just starting out their careers in an AI transitioning world.
Clarity is where it's at. If things are complicated, like I also reckon this to like crypto, if they're complicated, people don't really adopt and don't want to understand it because there's too much data out there. So the simpler we make it, the more likely people are going to act.
If someone takes a hammer and hits me in the head with it, it's not the hammer's fault. It's like you should have been using the hammer to go build really amazing houses, not go hurt people with it. What happens when everyone starts relying on the same tool to write their content for them? You get saturation and the sea of sameness kicks in. If you're in a profession and a job where your tasks are like low level, repetitive, and easily automated, I think it's time to build a bit of a career moat for yourself.
Eva Dong, AI marketer at Google, ex-McKinsey.
I pivoted my career to marketing, but I never forgot my data science and AI side. I did a client in Cape Town. That was like such a wonderful experience, opened my eyes to the African e-commerce market. AI can be implemented in every single step of marketing operation. A lot of brands are leveraging AI along with their experience, their branding team, all the brand marketing experience to combine with AI to develop the best strength.
It feels like an arms race in terms of everybody coming and getting better at producing video and images that are generated from AI. It's blown my mind, even though I'm really comfortable with change. It just feels incredible.
I remember there was like one CEO talking about how AI replaced 90% of his customer service. AI can be biased. Maybe it's grabbing certain things. Maybe it's grabbing not everything. Maybe the question you ask have multiple different answers.
And Smarty of SEO Smarty Agency.
There are so many layers of AI at this point in the algorithm that there's no human being that can debug that can understand what is really going on Google unless they do it themselves. So they will either die or improve. So there is no other solution for them. My problem with SGE is exactly that the problem Google had with fluff content that they were trying to remove from search results. Now they added their own fluff content because SGE gives answers that are not useful or helpful. Only Google can ruin itself. And that is what is happening right in front of our eyes.
Deepfakes are going to be on the rise. So I kind of advise everybody to have a safe phrase that no one else knows, so that if you encounter a strange call or voice message, you can always check with that person and make sure that they're real.
Imagine your kids calling you and that's not them.
S.A Grant, entrepreneur and founder of Boss Uncaged.
As far as my story, I always say I grew up in Brooklyn, New York as a kid, and like my creative outlet was graffiti to the point to where I got arrested for it. I was in the tunnel looking at the light, and then finally after the stroke, I was out in the light and I realized that everything I was doing was for a reason. I created, I think it was 7 years worth of content to post 2 posts per day, every day for 7 years on autopilot. I look at it as like Legos, man. It's like different types of colors, Legos, different types of shapes. And again, NFTs, AI, automation, systems. To me, they're just Lego pieces. How do I make different things by putting them in different sequences? In a world of 8 billion people, it is seamlessly impossible for you to satisfy all 8 billion people. Even Beyonce and Taylor Swift, they're at the billion level and they can't satisfy all 8 billion.
Lee Densmer, founder at Globia Content.
What I write is so rooted in my culture, and I don't even know it. Their tagline was "Fly in leather." They translated that into Spanish as "Fly naked." In the U.S., we're pretty democratized. You've got access to the CEO. Everybody talks to everybody. But in other cultures, there's a power dynamic that's part of their culture that you need to be aware of. Most of us don't understand another culture very well, and you don't even understand your own culture very well because you're in it every day. Pepsi used to have a slogan, "Come alive," with the Pepsi generation. So come alive. They translated that into Chinese as "Pepsi brings your ancestors back from the graves." Now, so localization and changing products and content for other cultures is actually really interesting. It's subtle, it's nuanced, it's tricky, it's easy to get it wrong. It's super expensive when you get it wrong.
Genesis Aquino, project management.
Running a business, being an entrepreneur is basically the foundation of everything. You either love it or you hate it. AI should be your friend. It's not your enemy. And I think if you know how to use it, if you don't fear the spread of AI, then you embrace it and you make the most of it. It takes practice, patience, and curiosity, a lot of curiosity. I'm not saying AI will replace the creativity part of my brain because it's not, but I'm being more creative because of AI. It's not meant to replace the human brain. Not at all. It's basically just helping us build more content, create more ideas. I found it amazing. I mean, the way that you can now chat, like speak, chat, come on, it's another level.
Learn it, but don't get too afraid. Don't get paralyzed in making decisions. Jonathan Boshoff of the AI SEO Academy.
Like, if you subscribe to these newsletters of new AI tools that are coming out, there's like 20 a day. Like, you could have a full-time job just trying out new AI tools. We're all going to become prompt engineers over the next couple of years here. The future of search is prompting, not keywords. Basically just stealing. Like, any kind of generative AI has learned from some other online source. And when it generates new information, it's basically just stealing what it learned to share with you. Every tool, every software that you use is going to have AI features. AI is going to get better and smarter.
It's not meant to just be AI specific. It's meant to be like, how can you use real things right now and not freak out and also not fear what's coming? Lazarina Stoy of ML for SEO. It's been a race, an arms race to get AI and integrate into everything.
Every company can benefit from it. And I think it's more like every person that works in a digital environment, especially in marketing, has ways to boost their own productivity by harnessing machine learning. The reality of automation is that you need that initial investment in order to save time down the line, kind of like a compounding interest scenario. In a lot of cases for companies that I've consulted, they actually revert back to their old practices because it's more cost friendly and it's a much higher quality result as opposed to incorporating ChatGPT and spending a ton of hours to edit the output and to make it better. We also need to harness automation in a way that amplifies human voices as opposed to creating like robotic sounding videos and podcasts.
Learning about the tech, the strategies, and the ways that you hone your abilities are what make you valuable and in demand. Duane Forrester, SVP of SEO at Indexer.ai.
We're the people who used to walk into a grocery store, you start up a conversation with somebody in line at the checkout, and they'd say, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" And you say to them, "I'm an SEO." And they'd be like, "What the hell is that? Can you explain what Google is?" She goes, "I hear my parents talk about it all the time, but I never go there." This kid is straight-faced asking, like, what is Google and why does it matter? That is a bright and shining beacon. Humans, by our very nature, are genetically programmed to seek out shortcuts to accomplish work. It's all about burning calories, and our brains are the biggest hogs on burning calories in our bodies. This is part of the reason why we see a lot of AI personalities and AI influencers growing, because the consumer doesn't actually care. They don't care that it's Philippe or Philippe bot. They care that sounds reasonable, is helpful, answers questions, knows what they're talking about, is trustworthy.
Conor Martin, YouTube educator and marketer.
AI can help us do all these things, and it almost makes us kind of like a one-person army. There was like the fear one day when I saw what ChatGPT could do. It was just like, typing in, oh my God, this can do like very similar what I'm doing. I've seen some examples recently where you can turn photographs into videos, and it's kind of eerie how kind of good it is, but also how strange, because you'll notice some artifacting where like the hair moves on its own in a different direction, or the like an arm just appears or a hand just appears and melds into the other one. If you rely too much on it, your content is just going to be generic and just, the same as other people's. And, it's not going to be that good if you don't add your own little bit of spice to it, your own personality. If I go to a live show, am I going to want an AI music? No, it's going to be boring.
Getting away from fear and just embracing and trying things out and having fun with it will be the difference maker.
and will keep you valuable as a marketer, an SEO, an entrepreneur, basically any role that you can think of.
João Vitor Pessoa Rocha, computational linguist.
Everybody wants to put AI in their product, even if the product doesn't need AI. I entered my linguistics program because I didn't like math. And then I become like a computational linguist, which is the area that use more math in linguistics. Make sure that you're humble, but you can show off your accomplishments. Because I think, at least in Brazil, there is this mindset that we should always be humble. If I did something, I will celebrate and I will tell someone that I did it. Especially in your workplace, it's important. For example, you can get a raise or a promotion. We also should consider what we are doing with the models that we are building. Because I don't think just because you can, you should. If I just have to think and then the AI will translate, I think this could be more dangerous, because then you can be like a mind reader, but on yourself, and then that might not be good. Don't use AI just because everybody's using it.
Helena Liu, founder of Product Camps.
Last week, I actually let go of my actual human assistant because I replaced her with AI. And that's when it actually hit home for me. And AI is coming, whether we like it or not. It's kind of like back in the 90s, the internet is coming, whether we liked it or not. There's probably going to be more scams coming out with people being able to mimic other people's voices and then give their loved ones a call and pretend to be that person and ask for money. There's always two ways you can look at things, either the glass that's half full or half empty. And I think I just kind of take a more optimistic approach with this technology. If you're scared of your job being replaced by AI, it's a good idea to understand what's replacing you and where you're going up against before you come up with the appropriate strategy for your next move.
Now that we've wrapped up 2024, I want to thank you all for tuning in and supporting this podcast. It means the world to me. Looking ahead to 2025, I'm excited to bring an incredible second season packed with amazing guests, fresh insights, and actionable tips to help you thrive at the intersection of AI, marketing, and entrepreneurship. Stay tuned.